My narcissistic family wants my money to pay my brother's debt after 6 years of no contact. Hey Reddit, I've been lurking here for a while, but today I wanted to share my story. It's about growing up as the only normal kid in a narcissistic family. I hope it resonates with some of you and maybe offers a bit of comfort to those in similar situations. I grew up in a family where appearances were everything. My parents, especially my mom, were classic narcissists. Everything had to be perfect on the outside, no matter what was happening behind closed doors. My older brother, the golden child, could do no wrong. Meanwhile, I was the hardworking, quiet kid who just wanted to live a normal life. From a young age, I learned to fend for myself. While my brother got everything handed to him, I worked part-time jobs to save for college. I studied hard, got scholarships, and eventually made a life for myself far away from my family's toxic influence. 6 years ago, I cut contact with them. It was one of the hardest decisions of my life, but also the best one. I needed to heal and build my own life without their constant manipulation and control. Since then, I've achieved a lot. I graduated with honors, landed a great job, and even bought my own place. Life was finally looking up. Then, out of the blue, I got a call from my mother. At first, I was shocked and a bit hopeful that maybe, just maybe, things had changed. But no, she was still the same. She didn't call to see how I was doing or to apologize for the years of neglect and emotional abuse. She called because my brother was in trouble. Apparently, he had racked up a significant amount of debt, and now they wanted me to help pay it off. My mother went on and on about how family helps each other, how I had a responsibility to my brother, and how it was time to come home and do my part. I was furious. After 6 years of silence, they reached out not because they missed me, but because they needed my money. My brother, the golden child who had never lifted a finger to help himself, was once again being bailed out by the family. And this time they wanted my hard-earned money to do it. I told my mother no. I told her that I had worked hard to get where I am, and I wasn't going to jeopardize my future for someone who had never been there for me. She didn't take it well. She called me selfish, ungrateful, and accused me of abandoning my family in their time of need. But here's the thing, they never considered my needs. They never supported me or appreciated my hard work. They only reached out when they needed something from me. And that's not family. Family is about mutual respect and support, not manipulation and financial exploitation. I hung up the phone feeling a mix of anger and relief. Anger because of their audacity and manipulation, but relief because I stood my ground. I chose myself and my well-being over their toxic demands. It's been a few months since that call, and I haven't heard from them since. I'm okay with that. I've learned that sometimes the best way to protect yourself is to keep toxic people out of your life, even if they're family. Update 1. Hey Reddit, I wanted to provide an update on my situation since my last post. First of all, thank you all for the overwhelming support and encouragement. It means a lot to know that so many of you understand and have gone through similar experiences. After the initial call from my mother, I braced myself for more drama. And boy, did it come. A few days after our conversation, my father called me. He tried a different tactic, appealing to my sense of duty and guilt. He talked about how hard it's been for the family and how I should think about helping them out. I reiterated my stance and firmly told him that my answer was no. He wasn't happy, but I stayed strong. Then came the barrage of messages from extended family members. It seems my parents had rallied the troops, and suddenly, aunts, uncles, and even cousins I hadn't spoken to in years were messaging me about family responsibility and forgiveness. It was exhausting, but I kept my responses short and consistent. This is not my responsibility. Amid all this, something surprising happened. My younger cousin, who I hadn't been very close to, reached out to me. She apologized for the way our family was treating me and shared her own experiences with the family's narcissism. We ended up having a long conversation, and it felt good to have someone who understood. She even told me that my stance had inspired her to set boundaries of her own. Work has been my refuge during this time. I've thrown myself into my projects and even got a promotion, which was a much-needed boost. My colleagues have been incredibly supportive, even though they don't know all the details. I've also started seeing a therapist to help me navigate these feelings. It's been a game changer. My therapist has helped me understand that it's okay to prioritize my mental health and that saying no doesn't make me a bad person. She's helping me build tools to deal with the guilt and pressure my family tries to impose on me. Last week, I got another call from my mother. This time, her tone was different. She was more subdued, almost resigned. She said she realized they had put too much pressure on me and that they would figure things out on their own. I don't know if I believe her, but it was a step. For now, I'm cautiously optimistic but prepared for anything. I'm learning to focus on myself and my future. I've started a new hobby, gardening, which has been surprisingly therapeutic. Watching something grow and thrive because of my care feels like a metaphor for my own life right now. To everyone dealing with toxic family dynamics, keep fighting for your peace. It's not easy, but you're worth it. Thanks again for all your support. Like and subscribe for more stories.